Welcome to Comfort Habit number 2. This is my final video out here for the day because it is drizzling. You probably can't see it because I'm under this roof, but anyway, you may be able to see it if it starts really pouring down. If you look in that direction, you might be able to see it, and you might not. But this will be my final video, and at this point in time, if you're watching this, it's posted. If you haven't watched this, you should know that I am going to post them. It is currently 3:38 in the afternoon in Virginia. Alright? So if you're watching, great. If you're not watching, great. But more than likely, if you're watching, it's because they're posted. So, here's what's going to happen. We're going to talk about some of the things in martial arts that I like, and some of the things in the martial arts that I just all out fucking can't stand. Okay? And we're going to go with the bad shit first. I don't like when martial artists don't tell the truth. Alright? When they don't teach you the bad shit that comes with martial arts. Everybody always thinks, hey, martial arts, good thing. You're going to learn how to fight. Yeah, you're going to learn how to fight, but you're also going to learn what the School of Hard Knocks actually means. Alright? Now, you may not like that, and this is why a lot of people don't like me. If I'm teaching you some shit and it ain't going to work, I failed you. Okay? When I show you techniques like the pole technique or the tree technique, it's the same damn technique. It's just a different instrument in front of you versus a pole versus a tree. Okay? It's not that difficult of a concept. Alright? If I teach you how to work with a bow staff or the monkey stick, it's not that difficult of a concept. But the most important thing I teach you is that your weapons aren't always going to be there, other than the ones you've acquired by birth. Hands, forearms, elbows, knees, and feet. Those are your only real weapons, period. Now, a lot of us watch everybody do wushu and play with the weapons and all that other shit, and that's fine and dandy, but you tell me where, in what city, in what state are you allowed to walk around with these damn things and not have some kind of legal problems? And in case y'all can't see my skin tone, I'm damn sure not going to walk around with a katana or any other damn instrument of death, because I know, due to my skin tone and them not sure what the fuck my ethnicity is, there's going to be a fucking problem. So why put myself into that situation? I have always said this, and I will probably always say this: the only real weapon is the human body. And it's not just a quote from Fatal Fury with Terry Bogard, where the human body is always going to be the world's most deadliest machine. It is. Without question, without doubt. You can doubt me, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to get on the internet and lie and say, well, you know, if you had a katana, you might be able to get to this situation. Yeah, you might be able to get to that situation if you're the only one with the fucking katana. If the other guy has a katana and he's been practicing for 20 fucking years and you've only had it for 2 days, you're going to die. 2 days. That's not enough katana training to go against someone who's a fucking ace that's been doing this shit since they were 20 fucking years old. Or for 20 years of their life when they were like 4. And then 17 years later or whatever, they're like 21, and they've been practicing because they come from families of martial artists. If their mom's a martial artist and their dad's a martial artist and they're a martial artist, you got a fucking problem. Okay? Understand how this works. When martial artists procreate and make another martial artist, this becomes a tradition. This becomes a family of martial artists. And this is different than, you know, you being born Chinese and your family just ups and decide, hey, we're going to make you a martial artist. No. When you are born into a martial arts family, regardless of your ethnicity, and you become a martial artist because it becomes what your family is known for, you are raised different. And you are built different because you have nowhere you can go. If your mom's a martial artist and your dad's a martial artist, you're going to be a martial artist. Not by course, but probably by force. And you're going to be grateful that it happens. Neither one of my parents were martial artists. Neither one of them. I have uncles who were in the military. They have military training. But none of them are martial artists. As I am a martial artist, I just don't have a fucking ranking belt. We are going to go there in a minute. And I'm going to tell you why we're going to go there in a minute with this tale here. A lot of people rely on that belt versus actual combat skills. Alright? I want you to remember that I said that. A lot of people rely on those belts versus their combat skills. And it's a line in the Karate Kid that you should probably never forget. And Miyagi says it. Because, as you remember, Daniel's son never got a belt. They stole a belt, but he never actually earned a black belt. Understand that shit. He never earned the black belt. Never. He never earned it. Not in Karate Kid 1, not in Karate Kid 2, not in Karate Kid 3. Now, I don't know about Cobra Kai because I haven't watched it. But I know that Daniel LaRusso never earned that black belt. That shit was just given to him by Miyagi for the tournament because they lifted it off of somebody else's bag. Go back and watch. Now, as far as him earning it, Miyagi's old school. Miyagi didn't fucking believe in the belt system either, clearly, because he housed the belt for American rules. Alright? Just get that out the way. This is my belt. It holds up my pants. Miyagi specifically said, when Daniel said, hey, where did I get a black belt from? He said, real martial artists don't need belts. The belt is just to hold up your pants. You know, literally, he says that in the movie. And every teacher that I have had has never said that. Has never fucking said that. And I have never been able to earn a black belt. Ever. But here's the reason why. A lot of black belts are earned by katas. They aren't earned through fighting. Alright? I didn't take martial arts for a belt. I took martial arts because I was a fucking kid street fighter and I didn't have a choice. I was small and I needed to be dangerous. Period. And my uncles picked me up from school. But after school, when I got home, my homework was done. We went and fought. He was like, you're going to go fight this kid. You don't get a say. And then there was another kid that I had to fight all the time. I have begged this man for forgiveness more times than he wants to forgive me. He's already forgiven me, and I still beg him for forgiveness whenever I see him. Shout out to him. Anyway, point being made, I didn't take martial arts to get a belt. I took martial arts so I could become a very dangerous little child with power perceived, with power achieved. Understand, I can't do a kata now, and I'm 48. I can shadow box. I can do certain kung fu movements you would probably consider a kata, but I was trained to fight like this versus chop, chop, ice cream scoop, where I started taking taekwondo is when I started having to do katas, and that's when I learned that katas were not for me. It's also when I learned that you cannot take me from whatever level I'm at and whatever skill I'm at and untrain that shit and put me day one. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Of course, I also learned that in the Army when they wouldn't restart my ass because I didn't want to leave the Army at all. I wasn't going to leave the Army unless I left that bitch in a body bag. That's how dedicated I was. And now I'm fucked up, so I can't do that anymore. But anyway, I'm also aged out because I'm almost 50. Except for there are people who are still in the military that are almost fucking 50. But I'm not physically capable. I will never pass a physical. So there's no way in hell I can ever go back. And I would also be the oldest private in the universe. Because I was a private when I went in. I was the oldest private at Fort Benning. I was 37. Salute to Fort Benning. And a couple of drill sergeants, but most of the ones from Delta Company. Only really one from my platoon in Bravo. All except for like two of my high-ranking sergeants because they just didn't like my ass. Okay, one of them really didn't like my ass, but he was a fucking Marine first. But anyway, enough said on that. I learned martial arts to keep from getting my ass kicked. Period. No ifs, no ands, no buts. That's the dark side. I'm going there. I'm fucking going there. If you don't like this shit because you're all traditional or you're all about rules and shit like that, that's fine. I got nothing against you. I respect you. I have honor still, even though I don't believe in all the rules because my fight's out in the street. Y'all don't have to come home to a neighborhood where everybody wants to beat your ass because you got two skin tones. You don't have to go to a home where everybody sees your mom looks white so they think you're better than they are. You don't have to go home to that. You go home to a nice peaceful neighborhood where you ain't got to worry about people. You may have your father in your house. I didn't have my father in my house. My dad and my mom was divorced. I only got to see my father in the summertime. And it wasn't that my father didn't want to be there, but they were divorced. He wasn't going to be staying in the house with the woman that he loved and she decided they were going to get a divorce. It was her decision, not his. according to him. She ain't never gave me her side of the story. She won't talk to me anyway, so I just go with his side of the story. I know it's two sides. We won't go too deep into their business because both of them are guilty. That's the way I see it. But see, here's the thing about being guilty. If you're guilty and you own it, you got my respect. If you're guilty and you refuse to own it, you don't have my respect. I.e., that's why I respect my father a little bit more, because he also takes accountability. He's dead now, but he took accountability while he was alive. That's why I take accountability, because I was taught to take accountability. Hopefully that makes some sense to y'all. And if it didn't, that's a you problem. Dark side of martial arts is that if you're going to a martial arts and you're only doing it for exercise, I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is if you're doing it for exercise and you got a black belt and you think you're a badass, and you're going to find out real quick that that belt is really only safe in the school. Now again, I'm going to piss off every martial artist on the planet with saying this. I don't give a fuck, because that's a you problem. But it's also the truth, because I want you to think about it. How many schools have you been in and you seen one black belt who's just badass? I mean, you are intimidated by him as soon as you see him. And he had a little bit of extra lessons. He got some private lessons, and he can do katas like proficiently, right to the motherfucking letter. Perfect. Every now and again, you will find a diamond in the rough that not only can do katas, but actually can fight. A lot of places, you're not going to find that. You're going to find that guy that got black belt, and he can probably beat anybody's ass in that dojo. Get out there in the streets and get beat by nobody. I am that nobody. I have fucked up some black belts. Period. I have showed them shit that they've never seen before that I pulled literally out of a comic book. Springing off the wall and kicking people. I did that shit. Nobody who's taking martial arts did that shit. We had sparring matches in school. And I pull a rabbit out of my ass quick. I spring off the wall and throw a kick or throw a punch. And they be like, we weren't taught that shit. I said, you weren't raised in the streets. I was raised in the streets. I don't believe that there's a limitation to what I can do to throw a kick at you. I am the king of adaptation. If I'm losing, I'm going to adapt. I hope that wasn't a piece of my tooth. Okay, we're good. Sorry, it just got fixed last week. That's why I'm broke. And if I can get rid of the yellow, I mean, I brush them all the time. I'm using whitening toothpaste. I guess I need to find another thing, but before I do anything, I'll ask my dentist so I don't fuck my teeth up. Anyway, so, as a kid, from the age of 6 to 12, I was taught way of the fist and way of the foot. That's it. Karate, Kung Fu. I took Taekwondo because it was new and because I liked her prowess. Well, I took Kempo and Kendo and Aikido, a couple other stuff, Jiu-Jitsu, not the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I learned that in the Army, but regular Jiu-Jitsu. I took Judo. You know, I learned multiple styles. Did I stay in there long enough to master them? Fuck no. But I took what I need from them and I incorporate them in the shit that I use. Why? Because when you are in a fight, you ain't got time to remember day one, lesson one. You ain't got time for that. Secondly, when you get into a fight, you're going to be like this. You're not going to break down into this. You're not going to break down into this. You're not going to give this guy 1 red ounce of letting him know that you know some martial art. He goes like this. You go like this. Boom. That's when he's going to learn. When he throws that left jab to the right side of your face and you clocked his hand, you just shot him with a Kempo strike to the top of his hand. Boom. It looked like a block because it was about to bat it away, but instead it turned into a strike. Crack! You cracked his hand. As soon as it got in range, boom! You hit his hand. Your metacarpals are the easiest bones to break in your hands and your feet. Easiest bones to break, which is why I tell people, you do not, under any circumstances, hit everybody with everything you got. You give them just enough. You know, you give them just enough. And if you want to add that off, you grind it when you hit. But 9 times out of 10, you're throwing it in and throwing it out. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. You're not going to sit there, boom, boom, and keep grinding. Now, some of us can pull that shit off. I ain't got time for that. I'm 48. I need to end this shit quick. So I'm going to hit you where I know I'm going to do damage. I'm going to hit you in specific targeted areas. I'm not going to be going for your face. I'm going to go a little lower than your chin. It's called your throat. because I'm small. And I can't be fucking playing around with you fucking young whippersnappers. I need to be on my P's and Q's. Now let's talk about this belt system, in which I hate so badly. Because, again, I told you guys this in my live, and I recorded it here, that Master Ennis gave me a lot of problems for not giving a 13-year-old respect. I had to do a lot of motherfucking push-ups because this 13-year-old, God rest your soul, Master Ennis, but wherever this 13-year-old is, I was 15, he was 13, and he abused his fucking power. And if he ever got his ass kicked, he probably deserved it, because karma doesn't forget an address. And he would abuse his power, and then, if you're in the office, eventually you're going to hear the commotion that we were having, and Master Ennis would come outside and take that cat's side, and it wasn't because I was mixed and this kid was white, it was just belt structure of his school. You respect everybody with a higher belt than you, no ifs, no ands, no buts about it. Even if you can whoop their ass, you respected them. But Master Ennis never caught that little fucker when he started shit. And he started shit with me every fucking day when he got this fucking class. Sometimes I beat him there. Sometimes he beat me there. Because I had to walk from here downtown before they moved to Grady Avenue and before they moved to Cherry Avenue. This dude would beat me to class. When we got to Grady Avenue, he always beat me to class. Because I had a car, I had to drive, I had to fight traffic. He had parents. They dropped him off and left him. But this little fucker picked on me all the fucking time. All the goddamn time. And when money started getting short, he rubbed that shit in my face too. You're poor, you can't afford to stay here, blah, 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 blah. Man, I wanted to grab that little bastard by his neck and break it. But you get bullied all the time, you get used to this shit. And I'm glad I didn't do that, because I would have never made it into the military, because I would have been in prison for the rest of my life for killing a little fucker. Anyway, he had like a blue belt. First he had a green belt, then eventually he got a blue belt or an orange belt or whatever fucking belt it was, but he would rub that shit in my face. You can't even get out of the yellow belt category. And I'm like, yeah, if I take your motherfucking ass outside and take you back to back, we're gonna see who the fuck got the best goddamn fighting skills. But it never came to that, because eventually my money went away and I had to make a decision, stick with martial arts or make car payments. Well, y'all don't have to deal with my mama, so I had to make car payments. And so I was still trained. I was just trained at home. And about that time, I also started getting trained by a Green Beret, so I really didn't miss much. In fact, if anything, I learned more from the Green Beret at work than I learned at Mr. Ennis's dojo. And this is why I tell you about this belt structure. Alright, so you start off with white belt in most schools. White, yellow, green. I want to say it's either orange and then blue, or it's blue and then orange. And then it's brown, red, black. Alright? Now, I may be wrong, so if anybody knows how every other school works, but that's the case of my memory being fucked up, I'm pretty sure that was the structure for Master Ennis's Inner Stairway School. And I could be wrong. But I know black belt's the highest, red's under that, then brown, and whatever the fuck falls under that, I have no fucking idea. You know what? While I'm here, let's see if Google knows. Hey Google, what's the martial art ranking structure of belts?
According to Way of Martial Arts, highest belt in martial arts. However, it is generally accepted that the first belt should be white, while the highest belt is black. You will usually move from white belt to yellow belt, to orange belt, to green belt, to blue belt, to purple belt, to brown belt, and then to black belt, which is the peak.
They left off red belt. Red belt is before black belt. So, let's see if this one says it. It also left off red belt. Let's see if this one says it. Okay, that just says the highest belt is black belt. There are 9 degrees of black belt. I don't believe that should be a thing. Bruce Lee never had a black belt in any discipline. I don't have a black belt in any discipline. Is there a belt above black belt? There is a belt above black belt. It started above the black belt. It generally accepted the highest ranking black belt. Some martial arts, some other colors and places in the black belt. Someone attains a higher grade of judo and karate. Red, white belts usually worn by the 6th dan. Alright, but red belt's also in other things. It's Taekwondo. Because I take Taekwondo, and that's the fucking motto. I don't give a fuck about that. What belt does Chuck Norris have? Chuck Norris has many black belts. Okay, we're not worried about Chuck. 9th degree black belt. Donald Trump. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Now I'm shaking. Elvis has a black belt. Jason Statham. He has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Well, he has a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He is training in multiple martial arts and disciplines, including Wing Chun and karate and kickboxing. Okay. Sorry, Jason. That had nothing to do with you in this video. I was just trying to find out belt structure. Because this one about Wesley Snipes and 5th degree black belt Shotokan karate, 2nd degree black belt in Hapkido. Can't remember if I've taken that or not. Anyway, moving on. The belt ranking structure is a system of control. It does not mean you were good outside of the dojo. It means you are the top dogs in the dojo. And martial artists tend to leave that shit off. Alright? A lot of martial artists tend to leave that shit off. They really do. They tend to leave off the fact that I believe belt structure is actually an American thing. I'm not sure how it works in Asia, but I know in America, black belt is a American thing. You know, it's just another system of control to let certain people know the rank and respect and the work you put in. However, I'm going to be honest about that shit. I call bullshit on the belt ranking system. I just pissed off 90 fucking martial artists right there. Now let me piss off 9,000. Fuck your belt. It doesn't mean shit. Because at the end of the day, if you walk out that dojo and you get jumped by 6 people who don't have belts or weapons, it's just a fight. That belt ain't doing you no good outside. Alright? Unless you're using it as a weapon to combat those 6 people, that belt means nothing. But here's the thing. I got 6 people. Here's my belt. On those 6 people. If I really want to be nasty, I just swing the buckle. Martial art belts don't have a buckle. To substitute for that buckle, you tie a knot. But I'm pretty sure that you black belts all around the world don't know about that shit, right? Because a belt is really only to hold up your fucking pants. See, you can be the baddest black belt you can be, and you can whoop everybody's ass in these tournaments and shit. But if you walk out that dojo and get your ass whooped, and you a 5th degree, a 6th degree, a 8th, 9th, 10th degree black belt, what did you actually learn? You learned katas. You learned that if you make this step and go ki, you've learned some shit. And you did. But did you field test that shit? Because a lot of motherfuckers that got black belts ain't never been in a fight a day in their goddamn life. But people like me who can't even obtain a fucking 7th degree white belt have been in lots of fights. You know why I've been in lots of fights? See that stick? You see this stick? You see how short I am to this stick? I'm 5'3". That stick's way up there. Most of the people that I've had to fight have been bigger than me. By height and by weight. Most of those people have not come back for a second round. Because I fucked their shit up. And I do not have a black belt. So your belt don't mean you can fight. It just means you're good at that school. Simple as that. And they don't tell you that while you're following all these famous black belt people. Y'all following them and laughing at me, but I'm going to tell you the goddamn truth. Just because you got a black belt don't mean you can't get your ass kicked. I can get my ass kicked. But that does not mean I'm going to lose the fight. It just means I got to wait until you fuck up. Or it means you're fucking me up bad enough that I'm going to have to use lethal ordnance to end your shit. Strike here, Strike here, Strike here, You've been trained to fight. Hit him in the face. Hit him in the belly. Hit him in a solid muscle. No. I've been trained to unalive your shit. Because I'm going for your throat. Or I'm going for your kill zone number 2. Which is your breath. If person who can't breathe, it don't matter how big they are. It doesn't matter what fucking belt and what skill level they have attained. You can't breathe. You ain't doing a lot of goddamn fighting. You're damn sure not doing a lot of fucking talking. And see, this is that part about martial arts that people don't want to tell you, because here's the thing. You ain't never been in a fight, but you got a black belt. Don't go out that dojo thinking that you are a badass and you've never literally been in a fight. Now, your reputation can precede you. Your reputation can be, yeah, Echo's got a black belt. He's got 7-degree black belt. Echo can still get his ass kicked. Echo can still get his ass shot. Echo can still get his ass stabbed. But you know, here's that thing, the difference between me and everyone else. I already know that shit can happen. I half-ass expect that shit to happen when I'm about to get into an altercation. A lot of people just, that shit can't happen to me. Sure as there's keys in my pocket, I'm not unarmed. I can beat you with that. I can beat you with this. I can beat you with this. Why? Because I know what the fuck I'm doing. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this video and say, oh, you full of shit, you full of shit. You know how knives work. Very few people come at you with a sword or a knife without doing an angle. Very few come straight. You know, but that angle shit, angles cut deeper. If I cut you with my debit card, it's because of the angle that I use. It's the force behind that bitch. Debit card's not sharp. And you may laugh at that, but then think about a paper cut. Think about how deadly a paper cut could be in the right fucking hands. If you accidentally get a paper cut, it hurts like fuck. Just think about someone trying to cut you with a piece of paper on fucking purpose. It can happen. And this is the thing. You don't want to believe that shit because it's fucking true. That's the problem. See, we all live in this fantasy world about martial arts where we watch a lot of TV and they think that fights last 20 fucking minutes. No. Fights last 5 minutes at best. A quick fight ends in 3. A good fight ends in 2, which means somebody had better skills. Now, if you are both equally skilled and you are in a combat arena, those fights last for 5 minutes. Out in the streets, fights don't last that long. 3 to 5. That's it. It's not like in the movies when you see motherfuckers like battling it out in the street and next damn thing you know, motherfucker is still fighting. No. When you get out in that street, you got 3 to 5 minutes to understand that 2 things can happen. Either you going to win and survive, or you going to lose and survive. It also depends on how many people you are fighting. Now, if you are getting jumped, this fight is not going to last 3 minutes for you. Especially if you're on the losing end. This fight is going to last a long time because you're going to get stomped and you're going to get attacked by more than one person. And that only is going to happen if you're not constantly aware of the fact that you can get jumped. I've been jumped on my jobs before. I know how to fight when I'm getting jumped. Alright? Don't bother the guy that's talking all that shit. He's the distraction. That guy that you didn't see go off to the other side, that's that motherfucker you gotta worry about. Why do I say that? Because that's that shit that happened to me when I was fucking 15 or 16 or 17, whenever the age I was working at Kegler's. It's my own fault because I was showing off to their friend. Their friend told them how much of a badass he thought I was, and they decided to prove him wrong. So one guy was running all his motherfucking mouth and shit, and the other guy snuck behind me because I wasn't paying attention. I saw him go behind the dumpster. I thought he was just going to dump something in him and his friend and their 2 girlfriends, you know. I didn't think nothing about it. The guy that I was showing the shit to, he didn't think that they were going to jump me. He had absolutely nothing to do with it. Their girlfriends had absolutely nothing to do with it. But this is where teenage shit goes from we badasses to we done fucked with the wrong fucking dude. Because they fucked with the wrong fucking dude. They thought they was going to whoop my ass because they was bigger than me. I'm like 5'1" at the time. They thought they were going to fuck it. I haven't changed. I've only got 2 inches of height left. Anyway, they thought they were going to fuck my shit up. Dude talking all the shit. Threatening to throw me in a dumpster. I'm claustrophobic, so that wasn't going to be a good thing for him. Because, you know, when you get scared, you get strong. If you got the right fear. So he's talking this shit. What you going to do if we beat your ass? I was like, hey, it won't be the first time I've had my ass whooped. No. I'm going to do it. Let's do it. No. I'm not scared to get my ass kicked. It's gonna happen. My big sister used to beat my ass all the time. That's why I'm tough as fucking nails. Because martial arts don't really work very well against the windmill. Remember that. That's your ultimate attack is that fucking windmill shit. If a woman break out the windmill on you, all of this and this, you done. Just fucking try to cover up, as best you can. Because the windmill is dangerous. The windmill is the most dangerous martial art ever. Anyway, the guy went around the corner. I wasn't paying attention to him because he wasn't saying shit. The guy was talking all that shit. Steadily running his mouth, steadily running his mouth. Now I'm getting heated, but I'm going with him. I'm seeing how far this is going to go because I'm waiting for him to throw a fucking punch. Because he's already threatened me. He's going to beat my ass, and then he's going to throw me in the dumpster. And I was like, nah, you can beat my ass. But you're going to catch all holy hell trying to get me in that motherfucking dumpster. Especially since I just dumped a fucking load of trash in that motherfucker. The dumpster's not the place you want to play. About that time, the other dude grabbed me. He locked his hands like this. So he had, I guess they call it the gable grip. And he had my body across. He got the ragdoll in my shit. It's like, talk your shit now, talk your shit now. And I'm still waiting for the other guy to throw the punch, but this guy done grabbed me, so my system kicked in. Alright? My backup system kicked in. My motherfucker, you need to fight, kicked in. So, like I said, he's ragdolling me. The other guy's talking shit, and I said, ow, boom. Now, he was ragdolling me really, really hard, so we ain't had no way to go but forward. I couldn't go backwards, because he had, his balance was, I guess, somewhat sturdy. And he just ragdolling me, which means I'm like this. And my legs are just flopping in the wind. And I said, oh, hell nah. Boom. When I did that, I guess he lost his balance because we did a fucking flip. And when we flipped, I landed on top. And so he had a grip until he hit the ground. When he hit the ground, his grip loosened, and my elbow was in the position, was right here on his body. And I said, boom! And his hands opened up. I backward rolled off of him. He was done. Because when he slammed on the ground, he was pretty much done. Because all the air sucked out of him, and then I didn't help with that. I rolled off of him. His head, I'm sure, hit the concrete, and he was pretty much in a fucking daze. And I rolled back and I said, all right, motherfucker, get up. I'm going to give you the chance that you didn't give me. And then I'm going to punch Smiley in the mouth because he's still fucking talking. So, he couldn't get up. He got up halfway, and I went in. And when I went in, I don't know how the fuck she did it, but his girlfriend got in the way. Her face got in between my fist and his face. And she had tears in her eyes, and they were the most beautiful blue eyes I've ever seen in my life. I hope they got married and had lots of good children. I hope they taught them not to go fucking with people. But I said to her, you need to move. He wanted this ass whooping. I'm fixing to give it to him. And then I'm going to fuck up his friend. And y'all going to be driving him home. And the friend that was their friend that I was showing, she's like, nah, dude, come on, man. Nah, I said, nah. They wanted this shit. Now they're going to get this shit. See, he ain't behind me now. Now he's in front of me. Now I'm going to show him what honor is about. You want to fight a motherfucker? You fight a motherfucker that don't know how to fight. That's fine. But payback's a motherfucker. You fight a motherfucker that's grown up his entire life fighting people bigger than him, and you think you just gonna fucking attack a motherfucker and walk away on his job. Mind you, I'm on my job. Nah, you got to pay, buddy. Now, if you move your little beautiful ass over this way, I'm gonna fix him up. You ain't having sex with him no more for about a month or two, because I'm going to fuck him shit up. He's not doing nothing else ever again to anyone else. Ever the fuck again. Then I'm gonna fuck up his friend because his friend was distracting me and talking all that fucking shit. Let's go. Which one of y'all want to die first? She never moved. So I said, well, here's what's gonna happen. You take your boyfriend and your girlfriend and her boyfriend and y'all get the fuck out my face. And you, we cool. But if your friends ever come near me out here at Kegler's ever the fuck again, they're gonna die. They got off lucky this time. They come near me again, they're gonna fucking die. Period. Because I don't need this fucking shit. I work because I have to. I don't work because I want to. So they went on, and I rolled back down the hill. And I had a friend, a work partner, real tall white guy named Chris, redhead kid. He didn't believe I knew karate until that day. Now that day, I became his superhero. As he came out his mouth, instead of helping me, because he was down there macking with some chicks, but he was watching. You know, he was macking with some chicks, but he was watching. He ain't bothered to come up there and help me. I got no love for that motion. I love him as my bro, but there's no love for that. You know, you just sit there and watch your coworker get jumped and did nothing. That's the part that pissed me off. Because when I come down there with the 2 trash cans, say, you a bad motherfucker, dude. You a bad motherfucker. I seen you flip that dude. That shit was fucking awesome. I ain't think you really knew that shit. I'm sorry. I know now that you know that shit. I got the trash cans in my hands and they're on wheels. And I'm looking, I was like, you watched all that? You couldn't come help me? It's like, you ain't need my help. I saw how you handled that shit. That was badass shit, man, right there. It's like, all right, man, fuck it. I took the shit in. I called my mom, and she wouldn't let me quit my job. But I didn't have any more problems on that job. But like I said, if you come to a school and you just taking it for exercise, that's cool. But you should probably just take cardio kickboxing instead of karate or any other martial art, because cardio kickboxing, even though you can use it, it's more exercise than actual fighting. If you're going to a dojo and you are not taking the martial arts for its fucking purpose, you are wasting your money and your fucking time. Martial arts is not exercise. Martial arts is life. It is a way of life. You eat it, you breathe it, you sleep it. If you marry it, you know, you do what you do. But martial arts is not about belts. It's not about breaking boards. It's about survival. The American version is about belts. It's about breaking boards. It's about breaking bricks. It's about being famous. Because, you know, I want that part of it. But I don't want to give a flying fuck about breaking a board or a brick, because that ain't got nothing to do with my ability to be able to fight. You know, when I walk out of a dojo, I got to go home to the bad neighborhood. 20% of the people in our class, when I was in Mr. Ennis' class, went home to white picket fences and great neighborhoods. The 2 black people, myself and the black guy that was the red belt for like ever, we had to go home to bad neighborhoods like Prospect, Projects, First Street, Garrett Square, 6th Street. We had to go home to neighborhoods where we really needed to know this shit, because if somebody grabbed us from the back and tried to take what little bit of money we had the ability to fuck their shit up, unless they were carrying guns. We knew the drill. All the non-people of color did not know the drill. And they probably took it for like exercise, or they probably took it to be legit martial arts. I'm not going to say why they took it, because I don't fucking know, but I do know that if you're teaching me some shit that's not going to work, I don't want to learn that. I know that fight scenes in movies are supposed to last long, because I'm also an actor, and they're supposed to last long to keep your ass in that chair. If your ass is in that chair, I'm getting paid. If my movie makes you want to go see my next movie, and the next movie, and the next movie, I'm getting paid. You're getting your money's worth, because we're making sure that shit happens. We have the stunt team, and that's why you see a lot of people who play the bad guys look exactly the same as they did in the other movie, because they're getting paid to play the bad guys, and they're the stunt men to make me look better than I actually am. And in some cases, that's not necessary, because I'm better than you think I actually am. Alright? And then the acting part is the hard part. Alright? I can do the fight scenes all fucking day long, and then there's the dialogue. That's where the problem lies. That's where your acting skills really need to come to par. See, if I'm in a fucking movie, and I'm not the star, but I'm in one of the fight scenes, but I'm the guy who dies so that the actual actor, martial artist, can thrive and move the story, I ain't got a problem with that. You know? Yeah, our brother was killed the other night. And they show the world how it went out, you know, and I go out like a fucking champ, you know. I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. Because your ass is in that seat. And you're watching me do my thing. The thing that makes me the happiest in the world is putting on a show, doing kung fu, and getting reviews and shit like that. Versus, what light through yonder window breaks? It is Juliet, and her teeth are exceptionally white and as bright as the sun. That's not part of the show. But, you know, my acting might need a little work. But if I'm doing a kung fu movie, a scary movie, or a science fiction movie, I'm going to thrive, because it's what I do. Sun's out. Anyway, you know, you have to be aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. I will never be super dramatic. I would love to be on Days of Our Lives. I'm pretty sure it's never going to happen, but I would love to be on Days of Our Lives, and I don't have to have a big role. Just like a cameo, or maybe 2 or 3 episodes where, you know, I'm there. I don't have a very important role, but important enough that my character is known and noticed. That would be great. I don't need to be on the show every day. Just like have a small run, like maybe a 10 episode run where I'm featured. It's about me, and then I ride off into the sunset, never to be seen again. That would be cool. I'm definitely down with that because then it would show the world that I actually can act a little bit. But I want the show to either make it something that involves natives, so that there'll be more than just me on the set because I'm not full native. And that would be great. It's never gonna happen. But there it is. Res dogs. I need a job. Anyway, you have to understand that real martial arts and real fights done. It's not boom, 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 and then I'm over here. It goes to somewhere else. You're watching somebody else fight. It's back to me, and I'm back in charge. No, in real fights, it's boom. I had a glass jaw. Or boom, boom. Oh shit. And the other guy's tagging back, and I'm like, oh shit, let me cover up because I might have a glass jaw. I ain't trying to go to sleep. That's how real fights work. Our belt system in all schools have a belt system. I don't think Wushu schools have a belt system. They have a sash system. I forgot how that works. But, it really depends on the martial art that you're taking. But for the most part, the majority of martial arts schools have a belt system. Belt system. A lot of Chinese schools don't have a belt system, but a lot of other martial arts schools have a belt system. But, the system is a ranking system that lets you know who's got rank, who's a higher student or a better student or whatever. And you got to accept that shit. I don't like that shit because of my teenage experiences with the cat at Mr. Ennis' school, the Inner Stairway, where the 13-year-old could tell the 16-year-old what the fuck to do. Still recording. Anyway, so you go through that shit and you figure it out. But I know when I leave the dojo, everything that I've learned needs to work. If you leave the dojo and you don't have to do anything, you don't have to worry about anything, you just go home and you don't put in the practice until you come to school, you're not really a martial artist. Alright? I'm going to say it. Yeah. Anybody who doesn't have a problem with that, that's good because you know what I'm talking about. If you don't go home after learning martial arts, like you spend an hour or 45 minutes in class, so that's like a little over half an hour, you got 45 minutes. And some classes are an hour and 45 minutes. And you get home and you think you're done for the day. You are not a legitimate martial artist. Now, if you are physically handicapped, you get a pass. All right, you get a pass because if you're in so bad of a shape that you just can't, after getting through class and you can't go any further, I get it. I understand it. I'm not putting you guys down. But for the healthy people, like myself, if you're healthy and you're like in great fucking shape and you're like, you spent the hour and 45 minutes in there, you're not done yet. Understand that shit. You're not done yet. I went to class for an hour and a half. I came home, put 2 more hours in. Why? Because I love martial arts that much. 12-year-old me, same shit. 7-year-old me, same shit. Can't get enough of it. Can't get a fuck enough of it. That's when you know you love martial arts. I don't get to train like I want to now unless I'm making a YouTube video. But I still put that training in. Even if it's only like 2 minutes. I'm not back in the room. I'm getting that shit in there. When I couldn't use my feet for 3 years, my hands, I was getting there. See how I'm doing there? That's a habit because I'm looking at myself and checking my speed because it doesn't look good from here versus how it looks when I'm looking at the camera. No. Now, it looks good to y'all because you're seeing it. Looks fucked up to me because I'm looking at my target and I'm fighting. But on camera, when I'm looking at the camera, that looks better for me because it's a habit that I got into. It's not a good habit to practice. But I will go to a class, put in that time, and I will come home and practice what I learned for 2 more motherfucking hours. Sometimes I've forgotten to eat dinner because I was practicing, and I didn't have a problem. Ate the dinner like maybe an hour or so later. Take a shower, and my dumb ass go right back to practicing. Okay, that fucking bee is back. You got to die, dude. God forgive me. You don't live here. You don't pay rent. Let's hope he doesn't bring any of his friends back. Anyway, I only tapped him. I wasn't really going to kill him. But, you know, if you're going home, you're putting in that extra work after class. You're dedicating yourself to this shit, you know. You're going to understand. The more you do, the better you get at it. The more dangerous you become to everyone else around you. And that is a thing that they also don't teach you when you go to these schools. It's a damn fly. And you know, if you're not willing to put in that time, then you don't really deserve the title of martial artist. I never thought that I would never have a time that I couldn't do martial arts. When I was in Fort Benning, Georgia, before my leg got fucked up, when we were going to go downtime, I would do push-ups and train, and I would just do Tai Chi. I wouldn't let anybody see all the other shit. And nobody really knew what I knew until I got hurt. And when I got hurt, one night, I think his name was Teddy. That's his last name. We had got like whatever guard duty we had to go to somewhere else. We didn't get to do it at our station. So I'm sitting there and I'm doing guard duty, and the drill sergeant on the thing said, "Hey, you guys want to watch YouTube or something?" I fucked up. That drill sergeant was our drill sergeant, and I was like, "Yeah, can we go to Kung Fu Havoc #2?" Well, Kung Fu Havoc #1, excuse me. I didn't get to Kung Fu Havoc #2 until I got out of the military. I said, "Went to Kung Fu Havoc 1?" He said, "Williams, is that you?" And I said, "Yes, drill sergeant." He said, "I didn't know you knew martial arts." I said, "Well, I'm 37 years old, drill sergeant. There's a lot of things that I know that a lot of people don't know." He said, "So you're an actor and you do martial arts?" I said, "Yes, drill sergeant, but I was a martial artist first. I've been doing martial arts since I was 7 years old." That same drill sergeant took that video to the other drill sergeant who couldn't stand my ass, and that shit came back to bite me in the ass. Like, literally, it came back to bite me in the ass. And that drill sergeant would, later, because I was hurt and I was on profile and everything, I mean, he threw that shit in my face all the fucking time. He threw that shit in my face. Called me all kinds of punks and bitches and shit. And I was like, man, if I could get 10 minutes with this motherfucker by himself, I'm going to beat the brakes off this motherfucker. But that never happened. But I thought about it all the damn time. This is the dark side of martial arts now. Understand, I'm telling you the fucking truth. We all have this darkness within us, which is why martial arts can make you really, really good or really, really dangerous. I am on the side of really, really dangerous. I will never say that I am really, really good because I have embraced the danger within. I know what I can do to people. I know what people think they're going to do to me because I'm small. But because I'm small, it gives me the tactical. And by that, it means, okay, you look at me, you see a guy who's 5'3", and you don't think I'm capable of hurting you. I like it like that because guess what? That's when I know I'm going to fucking fuck your world up. And I'm not going to stop. That drill sergeant rubbed that shit in my face, and then they were going to send me to golf. So when I got to golf, 2 drill sergeants, they punked the shit out of me. One would tell me to do this, I do it. You don't question the orders, you just do what you're told. So one day was abusing their power. And that would be Drill Sergeant Walsh and some other white guy. Drill Sergeant Walsh is half Chinese, half white, it's like every bit of 6'2". He wasn't as intimidating as Drill Sergeant Committa. Drill Sergeant Committa was a big motherfucker. I love Drill Sergeant Committa. Everybody on Bravo was a little bit of intimidated by Drill Sergeant Committa. Much love to Drill Sergeant Committa. I hope you well, brother. Anyway, I'll talk about him in a second. So Drill Sergeant Walsh and whoever the hell the white guy was, there's a door. I had to stand at the door. Drill Sergeant Walsh would make me go get in the line. The other drill sergeant would come to the door. They were abusing their power. I'm 37 years old. I have been bullied all my motherfucking life, and you can pull out a bully anywhere. I wanted these gentlemen dead. Understand that shit. So, this is how I managed to go to Delta. These drill sergeants pumped me for an hour. And it's like, well, we're going to send you back over to Bravo, but tomorrow you're going to be with us. And Drill Sergeant Walsh and that other drill sergeant specifically looked me dead in my face, and they told me, we are going to fuck with you every fucking day. We are going to make you wish you were never born. And I said, well, I'm glad you think that, because I won't be back here tomorrow. And he's like, what? I said, you heard what I said, Drill Sergeant. I ain't coming back here tomorrow. So I slept that night. And when they woke me up, Bravo the next morning said, are you ready to get your shit and be transferred to golf? And I said, I refuse training. It's like, what? I refuse training. Said, don't you refuse training a third time? I said, I refuse training. It's like, do you understand the ramifications of what's about to happen to you, Mr. Williams? I said, Drill Sergeant, do you understand the ramifications that if you send me to golf, I'm going a lot worse than what getting kicked out of the Army would do? It's like, what do you mean? I said, if you send me to golf, I promise you, those two drill sergeants in 2nd Platoon, they're going to die. The second that I get there, I'm going to kill them. He's like, the fuck you talking about? These are soldiers, son. I said, you seen my videos. That was me playing. I'm going to fucking kill them. So I was trained by a Green Beret before I ever got here. I am going to kill those two drill sergeants because they told me that they are going to fuck with me and that there was nothing I could do but take that shit. And I'm telling you, as a 37-year-old man, I've been bullied all my motherfucking life. And if you send me over there, I'm going to make Full Metal Jacket look like a fucking damn play day. I'm going to rip those motherfuckers in half the second that I put my goddamn bag down. I'm killing the motherfuckers. And ain't nothing you or anybody in this fucking damn platoon can do to stop me other than lock my ass up right now. Because if you send me to golf, Drill Sergeant Walsh and that other scrawny motherfucker, they might be good with firearms. They might be good with everything. But you fucking push a motherfucker too far, and you don't know that motherfucker from Adam or Eve because you think you a badass because you in the fucking Army. You just think you a badass. You just know that you ain't brought no other badasses in here. I said, motherfucker, I've been in street fights all my motherfucking life, and if you send me over there, I'm gonna show you what the fuck a street fighter can do. I promise you, this ain't gonna be no fucking joyride. And the first motherfucking thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break their elbows and their motherfucking kneecaps, because that's not what you teaching these people. Y'all wouldn't let me show y'all what I was taught. We had to do what y'all wanted us to do when it came to Taekwondo. My leg's still fucked up, but I promise you, I'm going to break both their kneecaps, and then I'm going to break their fucking necks, and I'm going to rip their motherfucking spines out. So you go ahead and send me over there if you want to, but I'm going to refuse training one more time. So, took me down to the captain. Me and the captain had a talk, and the captain called me all kinds of bitches and whores and told me I won't shit and all kinds of other shit, and that if I didn't go over there, that they would excavate me out of the Army, I would get a dishonorable discharge and all this other shit. And I said, well, guess what? I'd rather get a dishonorable discharge than be sitting in the blockade or the stockade or the brig or whatever fucking the Army calls the military prison on Fort Benning for killing these motherfuckers. I said, you do not know me. You do not know where I come from. You do not know what I've been through. And I promise you, I will kill them. He's like, what? I know we've heard about your little martial art thing. Drill Sergeant such and such told us about your martial art thing. I said, yeah, I heard that you have a martial art also, Captain. Because you got to address them as Captain, and you got to stand in parade rest or attention until they give you permission to go into parade rest. And Captain ain't like me. The drill sergeants that I mentioned didn't like me. They were my drill sergeants for 4th Platoon. They didn't like me. At least one of them liked me. One of them had his way where he liked me sometimes and sometimes he didn't. And the main drill sergeant, who was younger than both of the two under him, he couldn't fucking stand my ass. Period. He couldn't stand my ass. And again, he was a Marine first. Now I'm telling y'all this story because it's relevant to the dark side of martial arts that most martial artists leave off. This motherfucker hated me. The captain didn't like me because of what I said. And I straight told him. I said, yeah, you got a black belt in this combatives and shit. I said, but have you ever fought in the street? I'm not talking about in the military streets. I'm talking about with no gun, no knife, and somebody 3 times your size trying to whip your ass. I said, have you ever had one of those fights where it didn't look like you were going to win, but you won anyway because you know what the fuck you're doing? Here, you know, you got your combatives and y'all got your rules and y'all got to pull your punches and shit like that. I said, where I come from, it's not New York. Everybody wants to beat my ass because I'm small. And I have beaten everybody that I've said I was going to beat without so much as a second bet or wasting sweat on their body. If I say I'm going to kill someone, I am going to kill them. Because they're not going to give me the option because they think that they're badasses. And I'm going to show them that as bad as you are, there's always a motherfucker that can take out the baddest of the bad. And if you send me over there, Drill Sergeant Walsh is going to die first. Because he's the big tree that I got to climb. I'm going to break his fucking neck 3 vertebrae down where your neck meets your spine. I'm describing to him where to hit a motherfucker because this is shit that he didn't even fucking know. I will cripple you and then I will kill you. So I break at joints. I don't break at Steven Seagal breaks. I break really joints where I was taught in Kempo. I break shit that's going to be fatal. Because if I break here, see how that, you see that little twitch right there? See my fingers move? When I break this doesn't work anymore. When I break this and then this, that don't work anymore. They weren't teaching us that shit in the Army. They was teaching us this shit. You know, Taekwondo kick. That was Bravo. Shit that I could whoop anybody's asses with who knew that shit. Because they didn't know me. They didn't know about my Kung Fu videos. They didn't know about the shit that I've been doing since I was fucking 7 years old. They didn't give a fuck. Because this is the Army. You do what we say. You don't do what you say. You do what we say until we tell you to do otherwise. And I had no problem doing that until they tried to send my ass to golf. So I didn't go to golf. And thank God I didn't go to golf. I went to Delta. Didn't have a motherfucking problem in Delta until I tried to shoot my gun. Got an honorable discharge because I can't shoot with shit. And they fucked up my leg. Fucked up my leg in Bravo. But the doctors didn't do a thorough search, which is why I had to get a hip replacement at 42 instead of having preventive measures. Now, this hip was also service-connected because of compensation for this hip. So we have been doing, for the most part, protective measures so that I don't fuck this hip up. Then you notice if you go to Kung Fu Havoc number 2, you don't see the shit you see in Kung Fu Havoc number 1 outside of the weapons because I can't do Wushu anymore. No more high flying. It's another reason why I tell people don't do jumping spin kicks. Don't do tornado kicks. Because you can't use them in real fights. I mean, you can use them in tournaments. And you can use them in the UFC. But it doesn't mean you're going to stick them. No. But you can set people up. And that's fine. But when you get out here in the streets, man, you go and bust a tornado kick if you want. See how far you get. Let me know how that works out. Record it, please. But here's the thing. You got to set up to do the tornado kick. No one's going to sit there and let that shit happen. Especially if you're doing a sequence attack, and I'm blocking, and you getting ready to go for a tornado kick, I'm just going to duck, and I'm going to hit right all up in your shit, and you're going to go down. There's going to be a smile on my face as I come down on top of you and start raining all kinds of soup bones. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not going to stop. When we got to Delta, I started learning BJJ. I've never heard of BJJ before Delta. I only heard of Jiu-Jitsu, not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I suck at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But anybody who knows Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu knows that that shit really only works if you get a person down. You're not getting me down. I'm already as low as I can be to the ground. I'm 5'3". You're not going to have an easy trek taking somebody as short as me to the ground in the first place if we're not the same size. If you're 5'5", we'll probably be about equally matched in height and strength. You probably be stronger than me, but that does not mean you're going to be able to get me down. Plus, if you're going for this leg, I'm going to feed it to you. If you go to grab this leg, boom, you're a heartbeat away from a knee to the face. If you grab both legs and you tackle me, boom, I'm dropping my elbows in your fucking spine. I'm putting my knees in this area. I'm going to make sure when I go down, I'm still going to be able to breathe and you're not. Because I'm clapping my elbows and my knees. They're coming right in at the same time because if I can't stop you from taking me down, I'm going to make sure you can't keep me down. And you're going to be holding me from the waist. So I'm going to be boom, And that's going to hold you over. And when we roll over, I'm going to roll your ass over, and I'm not going to stop. I was going to kill those drill sergeants. So putting me in the Delta was the best thing that the Army could do. So yeah, there's a lot of evil in martial arts. I'm one of the worst there is, because I tell the fucking truth. And if I have to fight a motherfucker, I'm not fighting you to win. I understand that shit. If we're to fight, it's a fight for survival for you. Because it's a fight for survival for me. Because I wasn't trained to fight you to win. From the age of 7 years old, I was trained to fight you to kill you. Regardless of who you are on that battlefield. And I'm scared. I'm damn scared. Not of what you can do to me. Of me not being able to stop myself from fucking up your shit. So all these people just walking around with these black belts and they're bad and they're all famous and richer than me and all that shit. Hey, y'all just got the golden ticket. I didn't get a ticket. I tried to get in the UFC when I was 19. Get your weight up because you only weigh 120 pounds and our lightweight is 135 to 150. I couldn't gain weight till I was 37 years old. My highest weight was 135. 140 actually. Prior to that, I couldn't gain weight. I tried and tried. I took supplements, everything. All that shit did was make me shit. All the time. Eat it with your meal's coming out in 10 minutes. Drink it with your meal's coming out in 10 minutes. I spent more time on the toilet than I spent in the gym because of protein shakes and all this other shit. That shit wasn't working for my body. That shit was destroying my asshole. I literally took shits all the fucking time. All the fucking time. And so I say to you people who have confidence in your belts, how many times have you been out in the streets and been in fights? Now, I ain't talking about guys who took martial arts to become bodyguards or bouncers. I know y'all motherfuckers that had to deal with some shit. Because you took martial arts and you became a fucking bouncer or a bodyguard. I know. Like me, y'all motherfuckers know. We gotta fucking rumble, we gonna rumble. And we're gonna try to do that with as lethal ordnance as possible until lethal ordnance is necessary. And in some cases, it's necessary. So you have to understand, I totally fucked up when I said that, but you know what I meant. You have to understand that when you are in a fight, the only fight you are fighting to win for is a competition. When you are fighting in the streets, you are fighting to survive. You're not fighting for a win. You're not fighting for bragging rights so that everybody can say, yeah, Echo's a bad motherfucker, yo. No, Echo holds his own. He's not a bad motherfucker. He holds his own. So that when somebody is fucking attempting to hurt Echo, Echo can hurt them with lethal fucking ordnance. Size doesn't matter. Skill level does. If you think size is a factor, it's an ego problem. And that's generally a lot of problems with people who are bigger than me. It's like, yeah, I'm bigger than you, so it shouldn't be a problem for me to fuck you up. Yep, you right. You bigger than me. It shouldn't be a problem for you to fuck me up. But I'm going to make sure that it is a problem. A very little 125-pound problem. And you're going to regret the day you met me. I promise. This isn't like satire. This isn't me doing improvising and acting. This is me telling you the fucking truth. Coming at me, I hope you got your insurance and stuff paid up. And I hope you know that it's not going to work out the way you have it in your head. I already know it's not going to work out the way I have it in mind. But see, I don't have it in my head to beat you. I have it in my head to extinguish your life force forever. So before you attempt to say, oh, this motherfucker's bullshit, hey, everybody on TikTok is saying it, everybody on the internet is saying it, you're going to fuck around and find out, and then you're going to be mad. When you're looking down from heaven and I'm not in jail because you decided to come all the way across town or all the way across country to pick a fight with somebody that you see do martial arts on the fucking damn YouTube and you want to see if their skills is real. It's a very stupid move. It is. But this is the thing about martial artists. I will try to diffuse the situation first and ask you if you really want to do this, because if you really want to do this, I'm not being held responsible for you. I will go get a waiver drawn up so that if I accidentally kill you, I don't go to jail because you volunteered to die when you signed the fucking waiver. Now, waivers have loopholes. Yeah, I'm probably still going to be charged with assault or attempted murder or some bullshit. But, you know, that waiver's going to say, man, this motherfucker came all the way across town. This motherfucker came all the way across the country to throw me a beating. And for what? For what? Because he didn't believe my shit was good? Okay, well, he found out. That's on him. It's not on me. Because I give out warnings, not invitations. I understand that shit. And I know everybody's watching this videos and like, oh, you just a cocky little motherfucker. Yeah, gotta be. I'm a little motherfucker. I'm only 5'3". It's you big son of bitches that just think y'all can beat every goddamn body. And y'all do. It's an ego thing. My ego is just as big as yours. My fists aren't. My feet aren't. But my ego is just as big as yours. My inability to believe that I can't be beaten, that's not existence. I know I can be beaten. But you're going to have to kill me to do it. That's the difference maker between me and most people. And like I said, when you're in this belt structured bullshit, you know, unless you are a champion, you're probably not going to agree with me. But if you are a champion, then you know, because there's a lot of people that's champions that ain't never did dojo martial arts. They did gym martial arts like kickboxing or Muay Thai. And technically Muay Thai is a dojo martial art, but you have a ring in Muay Thai. It's not a boxing ring. It kind of is a boxing ring. But it's like a wrestling ring and a boxing ring combined. But it's a Muay Thai ring. And you are going to spend time in that ring and in that gym. You are not doing katas when you were doing Muay Thai. Understand? You're doing some bag work. You're doing knees. You're doing elbows. You're doing forearms. You're doing the work. You're doing the fighting shit. You ain't doing this. You're not doing that. You literally putting in those moves. You hitting bags. You hitting trees. You hitting shit. And most martial arts, when you were doing katas, you're out in the open field. You're inside the dojo. There's rooms and rules and shit you gotta follow. But if you're doing Muay Thai, you doing real shit. If you're doing MMA, you doing real shit. If you're just doing regular dojo training, you're just doing regular dojo training. And if you know, like I know, you want to get real rounded in every fucking thing, so that if anybody comes at you with a martial art that you've never seen before, you can be ready. I adapt quickly. I've never seen Kali until somebody showed it to me. I haven't seen Sistema until McDojo Life pointed it out. Shout out to Rob and McDojo Life. I don't know what the fuck that is. Oh, it's on the damn computer. Fucking A. I've seen Krav Maga. I seen it when Jennifer Lopez did it in Enough. There's a Krav Maga studio here. It's not for me. I don't like it. No, I don't. If I want to take Krav Maga, I'd just go ahead and get a contract with the WWE because I'd have a better chance doing wrestling than Krav Maga. No, that's just my opinion. You don't have to like it. And don't come after me if you know Krav Maga. Don't come talking that bullshit because, like I said, I give warnings, not invitations. Everybody that knows martial arts isn't good with martial arts. I understand that shit. If you know you're good but don't think you're good, then you won't be good. If you get over cocky or overzealous with your martial art, you can find out real quick, fast, in a fucking hurry that it ain't always that way. You know, you have to have a balance of possibilities and impossibilities. The possibility of me losing a fight, it's always there. The impossibility of me winning or losing a fight, it's always there. You have to know where your skills lie. If you ain't been fighting with that damn B is back. If you ain't been fighting and you get into a fight, you can get lucky and beat somebody who has been fighting and get into a fight. Damn it, missed him. But it's gone for now. You can get into a fight with somebody who's been in a fight and beat their ass if they weren't prepared for that fight that day, or if you snuck up on them and backed them from the back. You know, I've been sucker punched and didn't get to fight a guy back. I told you about that story, and I'll give you a quick recap so I can end this video. My cousin stole a van. Okay? Quick and simple. He stole a van. It was his friend's van. He stole it. He didn't tell me he stole it, and he was drunk. My cousin's name was Tony. I do not know if Tony is still alive or not. I also do not give a shit. Tony is my Uncle Doc's only child that we know of. So Tony came here. I was outside puking up because my bros, J Diz and CLS got me sick as fuck. And Mad King Bud, they always making me puke up because I have a really weak stomach and I was puking up. So I got voluntold to drive this fucker back to where Putt Putt is because the club was Wolfie's or Woodrow's. I don't remember what the fucking name. It was both at one time, but not at the same time. And so it's a lawnmower shop now by Putt Putt. So on our way up Avon, he almost crashes into the bus stop at the store formerly known as Stoney's, now Brown's, was soon to be something else. On the way past there, we almost hit another bus stop at Montrose, which is where I make the adult decision I should probably be driving this fucking van. So we put it in park, we swap spots, and I'm driving this van. We're going up the Ryle Road because it's the easiest route to get there. When I get there, the owner of the van, or the son of the owner of the van, is doing this. My dumb ass ain't never seen this dude before. Haven't seen him since, unless I have seen him and don't recognize his face. So, I almost hit him with the van. I hit the brakes and throw it in park, and I turn to my cousin and ask, who the hell is... BAM! Now, this dude just hit me. I'm stuck in a seatbelt, the natural way. And I'm like, I know this motherfucker. BAM! He hit me again. And I point my hand out the window and say, you are fucking dead. And I couldn't get that seatbelt off. I'm pushing and pushing and pushing on that fucking seatbelt, and it's got a double release. I'm pushing both of them. That motherfucker's not letting it out. Now my glasses is broken, and they're on the floor. My eyes cut. Like right over the cut that I had since I was a child. Just bleeding. Now I'm mad. I'm fucking hyper mad. My cousin has gotten out the car. The cops grabbed the guy that hit me and threw him in the car because he broke his hand on my face. I'm bleeding. I'm getting ready to get out the car because now the seatbelt can come undone. And this 400-pound monster of a white cop, Albemarle County, gets on me. He puts his right leg on my left leg. He puts his right arm under my throat. He's pushing my head back. I got you, son. Only, let's say it how it actually was. I got you, boy. I got you. You ain't going nowhere, boy. I looked at the cop. My head's twisted this way. I said, if you look at my left hand, I got you. All I gotta do is squeeze. Because my pinky is on your motherfucking trigger. Now, who got who? Say what? I said, look at my hand. Look at my left hand. It's on your fucking gun, dumbass. So if I want you dead, I just gotta twitch my hand. And you gets dead right here. Now, he got me pushed this way, but I know where my hand is. I know where my eyes is, because this hand's over here. And he's got me panting. I'm like, do I grab his arm? Do I do that? Nah. My left hand automatically grabbed that gun. Because he had one of them spin holsters, which I barely noticed when he got in there, but I knew when he put his right leg in there, he was a dead man. Had I been anybody but me, that dumb son of a bitch would have been a dead officer, and I'd been in prison for the rest of my life for killing an officer for a fucking van that I didn't fucking steal. And my cousin was going to let me take the heat for that shit, because he let me take the hit for it twice in the face. So he looked at my hand and he said, okay, I see you. I said, no, you don't know me. Now, I don't know what's going on, but this motherfucker done broke my glasses, my eyes bleeding, and I'm going to kill him when I get out of this goddamn car. Say, look, you shouldn't have stole the van. I said, I ain't steal the van. It's my cousin's van. He said, it's not your cousin's van. I took my hand off his gun. I put it on the steering wheel, put my other hand on the steering wheel. I said, here you go. He put me in handcuffs. He didn't handcuff me in the back. He handcuffed me in the front. And they want those new handcuffs were the old ones with the little chains. They were the brand new bracelets that you got no movement, which is another reason why my training with my hands bound has come in handy. I knew if I had to use these motherfuckers, this was going to be it. The big brother, dressed all smooth, looking like Scarface in the Ghetto Boys album, looking cool as shit. So they was out for fun that night. No. But the big brother was dressed decked the younger brother that hit me was like in a fucking t-shirt. So I'm sitting there and I'm getting handcuffed and cop is getting everybody's story straight. I'm like, dude, I never seen these two motherfuckers a day in my life, and they better hope I never see them again. The big brother's running his mouth, talking shit. I said, you think these things gonna work better for me or for you? He's like, well, I said, you don't fucking know me, dude. I said, all I gotta do is get close enough to you, and I can kill you with these motherfuckers. It's like, what? I said, motherfucker, I know Kung Fu. All I gotta do is hit you in the throat with both of these motherfucking things. These bracelets that's like in between my hands. I said, I'm gonna use these motherfuckers to rip your fucking head off. If I'm going to jail, tonight is gonna be for a motherfucking homicide of 3 motherfucking black people. Cause y'all fucked up. I'm bleeding out my eye. I'm handcuffed for a van that I ain't steal. And y'all thinking that y'all not gonna get some of this? I said, each and every last motherfucking one of y'all motherfuckers out here gonna die tonight. Except for the cops. Now, another cop who knew me is what saved my ass and got me out the handcuffs. This cop busted that house right there. When their original tenants was living there. But he's like, I got you, James. Don't worry. I got you. He said, you ain't going to jail tonight. I'm going to make sure of it. You ain't going to jail tonight. He explained to everybody how I de-escalated the situation over there and how I was a college kid and I don't do nothing except for go to school and go to work. And that's kind of what saved my ass, because that's all I do. I go to school, I go to work. I have no life until that night. So my glasses, again, were broke. They let me get them out of the car, and I managed to walk all the way from Putt-Putt all the way to fuck back home because I didn't have money for a taxi cab. And the cops didn't pay for a taxi cab, but they let me go home, so I won't complain. But I had explained to them, I was like, dude, my cousin showed up fucking drunk. And my cousin's story was the biggest lie ever. We dropped off a white girl. There's 4 churches on Round Road. We ain't make no motherfucking stops. And I told them, and I told my cousin, you better stop telling these motherfuckers lies. You done got me into this motherfucking shit. But if I'm going to prison tonight, I'm killing you, I'm killing them, and anybody get in my way. And the cop's like, James, you don't want to go to jail tonight. You need to shut the fuck up. You need to stop threatening. I said, oh, I'm going to jail. I ain't even steal the goddamn car, but I'm going to jail. So if I'm going to jail, they going to hell. All 3 of them. Especially the big motherfucker that keeps running his fucking mouth. But y'all ain't saying shit to him. And they didn't. No. But the K9 cop told him, like, look, you get your ass around there, because I'm pretty sure he probably can't kick your ass. So the big guy, they was like from North Carolina or some shit. They went on over there because his brother was already in the car from hitting me in the fucking face. And so that was that. Like I said, why is this relevant? It's because y'all are under the evil impression that a black belt makes you a badass, and it doesn't. A belt is a system of control. It is to hold up your pants. And if any of y'all think that you can beat somebody's ass because you have a black belt, you got a surprise coming for you. Because you're going to find that one person who's never had a black belt but knows how to fight. They're going to fuck your world up. I'm going to leave because I've had you guys for 1, 18, and 11 and counting. But I want you to understand something. Black belt does not make you a master. It just gives you rank in whatever school you came from. And that does not mean that you can beat everybody in your city or your state. It just means that you have a black belt in that school. Do not let that belt mislead you. Do not let that belt hold you on a pedestal that does not exist. Because it will get you fucked up. In fact, you know what? I'm going to make a part 2 to the black belt system.